Welcome to another session of 5-pillar mobility. Today's focus is on the shoulders and the neck. As usual, let's start by getting comfy, flat on your back, facing up, taking a few breaths to become mindful of your breathing, of your surroundings. Noticing the pace of your breath. Noticing anything around your body that tends to be carrying tension. With every breath, let's just scan a new area of that body. Feel that section get heavy and let go of any tension. Let's take some focus in through the shoulders. On your next breath out, feel those shoulders get nice and heavy, sink into your mat, and let go of any tension. On your next breath, taking your attention to your head and neck, letting go of any tension, feeling that head get heavy into your mat. Take a few more breaths here. Let's focus on directing that air deep in around that lower abdomen and breathing through the nose. One more breath here. We'll let go of that breath. Take our attention into the left tricep. So grabbing your lacrosse ball and putting your arm over that lacrosse ball on your left arm. So that back side of your left upper arm. Let's pan through that tricep. There are 3 heads, as the name would indicate, and any one of them can be carrying tension. Just do some searching, looking for what is carrying tension in that tricep here. And when you've found that right spot, look for the right angle of pressure, the right position of your arm. The tricep tends to limit us a little bit in our overhead range. So if we have our arm overhead, it helps us feel out how that tricep responds when the arm's overhead. And we can use that lacrosse ball with a little bit more attention on what needs releasing. And every chance you get, focusing back on your breathing, doing your best to keep your lungs sink to the target tissue. As your lungs let go of air, that tricep let go of tension. Let's take one more breath here. As you let go of that breath, we'll take our attention to the right side. So searching through the back side of your upper right arm, looking for where you might be carrying tension. And this is going to be a little different for everyone. So do your searching. Let your body's response be your feedback for what needs attention. It might be a knot, might be some fascial issues, might be something that just feels like it's not moving like the rest of the tissue. Do some searching, paying attention to that feedback, that stimulus. And once you've found the right spot, settle into your breath. Find a pace of your breath that allows you to find calm. And doing your best to sink that target tissue to your breath. Keeping a nice relaxed headspace. Letting your breath calm your mind, and letting your mind calm your body. Let's get one more good quality breath, directing that air deep. Let's let go of that breath. Then we'll take our attention to the left trapezius or trap. And we can do this a few different ways. We can do this lying down. We can do it standing to focus our attention more on the upper trap. We're going to demonstrate the lower trap today. So face up with that lacrosse ball under your trapezius muscle. It's your shrugging muscle. It's pretty big, covers a good area just on the upper part of your back. So just search through that, look for what's carrying tension. There's a lot of times knots. And if we move our arm through range of motion we tend to struggle with, that'll help you feel out what needs attention in that trap. And then settle into the right amount of pressure, the right angle, and then focus back on your breath, doing your best to sync your breathing to that tension, and imagine breathing the tension out in your trap as you let go of that air. Let's take one more breath here. Let that breath out. And we'll shift our attention to the right trapezius. So do some searching through this side. It might be very similar to the left, it might be very different. It might be similar to the video, it might be very different. It's a big muscle, large surface area. So do some searching and look for what needs attention for you. So you found that spot. Focus your attention on your breath. Let that breath calm your mind. You can use counting of your breath pace if that helps. Sometimes counting can add an element of stress that we don't need. So just let this be your own adventure, your own method, and your own means for getting in touch with your body. Mobility work is a journey. And the better you can learn to enjoy the journey, the more benefit you'll get out of this. So doing your best to keep your mind calm, being present, and allowing yourself to enjoy the moment. This is your time. Let's take one more breath here. We'll slowly let go of that breath. And we'll move into the left side first rib area. So the first rib area, we generalize to the pocket that sits just above your collarbone. And it's easiest to access with a lacrosse ball against the ledge or corner. If you don't have access to that, you can use your fingertips. It can be very sensitive. This can also be one of those sneaky ones that can really limit overhead range. So if you work on that left first rib area with your arm overhead, it'll help you get a sense for how that applies to your overhead. It can also help free up that position. So apply the right amount of pressure. And once we've got that, settle back on your breath, using your breath to help you find calm. Take one more good breath here. Direct that air deep in that lower abdomen. Imagine that belly expanding. Sigh out that breath through the nose. And we'll switch sides. Working your way through that right side. Looking for what is carrying tension in that first rib today. Find the right amount of pressure. We don't want to push into pain. Discomfort can be okay. And there's an art to finding that right amount of tension and pressure. the more you do this, the more you'll get familiar with your body's reaction and what kind of stimulus it needs. If we're getting numbness or tingling, we're going too heavy. If we're getting pain, we're going too heavy. Find that happy medium. It gives you that right amount of pressure that'll help to settle down that soft tissue around the first rib. And every chance we get, circling back to your breath, finding nice calming pace of breath. And if you find counting works for you, feel free to count your own breaths. It might be a box breath, it might be 4 second in, 4 second hold, 4 second out, 4 second hold. Let's take one more breath here. And we'll move into a left shoulder traction. There's a few versions of shoulder traction. This tends to be most efficient actually with the band. If you have a band and you know that exercise, feel free to jump into that. Just being delicate to how much tension you're applying. We're going to demonstrate the child's pose option, which can be just as effective. We do want to be gentle here as we get into this. What we're looking for is just a gentle, subtle pressure release through that shoulder socket. So it's helpful to take your attention to the muscles that are closest to the socket. Your posterior delt, those muscles in your armpits, your side delts. Just every time you breathe, imagine those muscle areas settling down. Let's take one more breath here. And we'll switch our attention to the right side. So we'll just pin that right wrist to your mat using your left hand. Gently lean away. Or if you're in the banded option, gently leaning away from the rig with your band. Whatever version you have, just be sensitive to how your body's responding to this tractioning force. If there's any pain or discomfort, just back off on that pressure. Today. And every chance we get, centering back on your breathing. Imagine all those muscles around the shoulder joint just submitting to the stretch, relaxing, helping that joint open up with a little less pressure and a little chance to improve movement. Let's grab your PVC pipes and move into a left side javelin stretch. So the idea with the javelin is to move your arm in and overhead in a hinge. Feel for a stretch through the shoulder. And this is a really good opportunity to feel out which muscles restrict your overhead just by paying attention, just doing a quick scan while we're in this stretch. Feel out what feels like it's being pulled. Might be triceps, might be biceps, might be lats, might be pecs, might be a bit of everything. And when you found that target, keep your focus there and imagine letting that muscle settle down and submit to the stretch. Staying nice and relaxed. In a few seconds, we'll gently get active here by pressing downwards. And let's go ahead. Start by gently pressing that pipe like you're trying to throw it through the floor, slowly ramping up tension. Let's add some big tension as we go. Big tension here to finish up. 3, 2, 1. Let's gently reverse that. Squeezing through your posterior shoulder. Squeezing, pulling deeper into that stretch as we go. Let's finish with big tension here to finish up. 3, 2, 1. Let's let go of that breath. Let that chest fall passively back to where we started in the stretch, hopefully a little deeper. If the shoulder's a little stubborn and we're not deeper, that's okay. We'll get there. We need the right amount of patience. Just staying nice and relaxed mentally. Let's take one more breath here. We'll let go of that breath and we'll switch sides. Let's get into a right side javelin. Spend the first half a minute, just feel out the position that we need, how far we need to go overhead. Maybe it's directly overhead. Maybe it's over in a Y at 45 degrees. Whatever position you may struggle with. And again, doing a quick scan through the hot spots. Maybe tricep, bicep, lats, traps, might be T-spine. Whatever feels like it's holding you back from getting deeper, mentally try to relax that muscle. Just mentally turning the off switch so that muscle starts to relax and submit to the stretch. In a few seconds, we'll gently get active by pressing that pipe through the floor. And let's go ahead, starting nice and easy. Pressing that pipe down into the floor, slowly ramping up that tension as we go. Big tension to finish up. 3, 2, 1. Let's gently reverse that. Imagine pulling yourself deeper into that stretch. Slowly ramping up tension as we go. Let's really add some good tension to finish up. Really squeeze. 3, 2, 1. Breath out. Calm mind. Fall back into your passive position. Focus back on your breathing. Focus back in your target tissues. Might be a different muscle that feels like it's pulling. Mobility is like peeling an onion. Sometimes we let something go. It just exposes the next layer that needs attention. So just be sensitive to that. Let's take one more breath here. Let's let go of that breath. And move into some left shoulder circles. So you can do this standing. You can do it kneeling. You can do it against the post to help keep yourself accountable. But the idea is we're making a big giant circle, keeping your arm as close to your midline as possible. And the section of this circle we're most concerned with is the 90 degrees between direct overhead and direct behind you. That's where we really want to make the shoulder work. It's where the shoulder tends to be less stable. So if we strengthen it there, we tend to improve stability through that joint. So just a nice wide circle. The further we go on in this minute, the more tension we want to use. Force ourselves into new corners and carve out new range. Let's finish up this rep. And we'll take our attention to the right side. So the first couple circles, use that to feel out your range. Feel out where your limits are. As we work our way through the minute, imagine carving through those limits into new range. And we shouldn't be forcing ourselves into pain, but this can be strenuous. It can feel challenging. Generally, the harder we work as this minute goes on, the more benefit we'll get. So every rep, thinking about coming a little deeper into that circle, especially as we start to move into that overhead and behind your ear. And let's really make yourself work for this last rep. And we'll finish off this rep. We'll move into some neck circles. So we don't need to be very aggressive through this. We're really feeling out what kind of range your neck has. As we get used to the exercise, we can start to get a little more aggressive. Just a giant neck circle, starting with your chin at your chest. Moving your chin along your chest to your shoulder. Gently moving your chin to the sky to move into some neck extension. Dragging it out to your opposite shoulder. Finishing your circle. And repping through this. And every rep, we'll try to move a little deeper into new range. Just being conscious of how it's feeling. Let's make yourself work a little harder for this last rep. See if we can carve out some new range through that neck. We'll finish off this rep. and we will call it a day. Thanks for much for coming out. Hope you benefited from this. Hope those shoulders are feeling good. Hope those necks are feeling good. Hope you're feeling a bit of a stress relief. If you liked the video today, remember to like and subscribe. And have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.